Hello guys, how you doing today? I guess you're doing great. Yep, my name is Malachi Gavas and you're on to my podcast where I serve you the hot news, the hot stories that made the headlines in the world of football. So sit back, relax, go for a break, and we'll be right back to tell you more. Yep, so I welcome you once again to my podcast. This podcast is powered by my very good friends at GoBridge TV. Please do well to follow them on Instagram at gobridge.com and on Twitter at gobridge and go enjoy yourself. You're going to have a lot of football stories, football videos, so much fun, so much fun. You won't regret it, honestly. Alright, so as I said earlier on, I'll be giving you the hot stories that made the headlines in the world of football in the past week. So just sit back, relax, and I promise you this is going to be fun. All right, so let's start up with the major stories that made the headline. The first one I'll be talking about is has to do with Barcelona. It just has to do with Barcelona. Yes, there have been so much issues going on with Barcelona this summer, right from sacking their coach to having problems with Bartomeu, their president, to bringing in a new coach to moving on some old cargoes, if I should put it that way. Arturo Vidal, Ivan Rakitic, and lots of them. Even Nelson Semedo has been kicked off. We'll be talking about that later. But there's one particular player that comes to mind, and I know you know what I'm talking about. It's not Messi. No, it's not Messi. Messi's issue is for another day. I'm talking about Luis Suarez. Yes, Luis Suarez. Luis Suarez was pushed out, was told by the new coach, Ronald Koeman, as you all know, that he's no longer wanted at the club, and was told to find a new club. He was even told, given this news, and very, will I say, it was very painful. Just a 60-second call. Hello, young man, I don't want you no more. You're no longer a member of this team. Please go and find another club. We are not doing this again. Very painful. Well, so the young man had to take it in his stride and went searching. And after a while, he was meant to get a deal, was working to get a deal with Juventus, but to get that deal, he had to be an Italian citizen, apply for a passport, in which I don't know, they said the guy do expo. That's what they said. He did expo. He cheated some sort. It's a suspicion though. It's an alleged something. It's not actually a fact yet. So he couldn't get that passport, and he came back and trying to get a move. Finally, he got a deal in principle with Atletico Madrid. But right before them, Barcelona actually had an agreement with him that, all right, we'll allow you go for free, we won't sell you, we'll cancel your contract, we won't pay you off. But there are some clubs you shouldn't sign for. One, Real Madrid. Two, Man City. Three, PSG. You can't sign for those clubs, but any other club. So he said, all right, no problem, I will find somewhere else. And he did that. He got a deal with Atletico Madrid just for Barcelona to come back and say, oh, bros, sorry, we missed out on that people. Atletico Madrid, sorry, it's not in the list, but we've added it. You cannot join them. And it caused a lot of uproar. The guy was like, come on, you told me to leave. And you gave me some list of clubs, which I accepted. Now I've gotten to Atletico Madrid and you're telling me, no, I can't. So he got his lawyers up and they went for a showdown talks actually with Barcelona. And after a while, Barcelona had to accept, and okay, all right, you could leave. It was already coming so feisty and hot and rough, just like what Barcelona was about having Messi. But at the end of the day, they settled the whole thing amicably, and they even threw him a farewell press conference in quotes to just show that they're in good terms, which we all know that behind Luis Suarez got a verse for them saying, "That guy, you won't fall my handle." But at the end of the day, they agreed, had a farewell conference where he talked about how he loved the club, blah 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 blah. But at the end of the day, the young man is now an Atletico Madrid player. Wow. I'm happy for him, man. Just imagine Atletico Madrid with Suarez and Diego Costa against Barca, against a weak Barcelona next season. Man, I just can't wait for that match to be very scintillating. All right. Let's not get way over our head there. All right, now still talking about Luis Suarez issue. Messi, the Barcelona captain, Luis Suarez, partner in crime when it comes to scoring goals, and also his partner in crime as a friend outside the club, has um, sent a farewell message, an emotional one kind of, to Suarez. I said, "All right, man, I really appreciate your time here. It was wonderful, and I will miss you and or whatnot." But he also used that opportunity to throw a jab at Barcelona that you guys threw this guy away. In his statement, he said he made a statement that I know they just threw you away, and I know that jab that statement wasn't for Suarez, it was for Barcelona to let them know that, man, they've messed up and they might regret it. So if that is Messi showing he's still angry with Barcelona, but it's all good. There's nothing he can do. There's nothing Suarez can do. The deed have been done. Suarez will be wearing the red and white and blue shorts of Roger Blancos next season, and he'll be playing against Messi. I just hope he doesn't score on the wrong net, or Messi doesn't see him and say, "Nah, guy, I can't dribble you. Take the ball, go and score." Well, it can't happen because they are both professionals. So we'll see how that goes. So that's that about the Suarez Barcelona issue. Then, what else do I have on my list? All right, we have we'll come back home and talk about um, one very wonderful, very superb rock of a player as far as the Nigerian Super Eagles is concerned. Yes, he's no other than, I think for me, he's the best. He's the best ambassador of the country of the Super Eagles right now, because he's the only one actually still making a name, and if not one of the top clubs in Europe, but one of the top clubs in England. Now, who am I talking about? I know you already have an idea where I'm going to, or who I'm talking about. Yes, I'm talking about Wilfred Ndidi. Yes, very bad news coming from his camp, coming from Leicester City, that Wilfred Ndidi will be out for about up to 12 weeks. Chai. Up to 12 weeks. And that's a real big blow, not just for the Super Eagles, not just for Nigeria, but also for Leicester City. Why? Because Ndidi has been a bedrock. He has been the midfield general for Leicester City for the past 3-4 seasons, since when he came in to replace N'Golo Kante, who went to Chelsea. He has been a bedrock for Leicester City, and also he has been a rock for the Super Eagles. But unfortunately, he's actually out for 12 weeks, which is not really much of a surprise, because this guy hardly gets a rest. He plays for almost every match for Leicester City, and also almost every match for the Super Eagles. No rest. Every match that the Foxes are going to play or the Super Eagles are going to play, Wilfred Ndidi's name will be one of the first, if not the first, on the team sheet. So I think it's just his body telling him, "Young man, we've tried. We've tried. Let's have a rest. Let's take a break, please. We need to rest." And I think he needs it. The good news is that he's actually going to have that rest. But both Foxes fans and fans of the Super Eagles will have actually miss him. And for the Super Eagles, we have a friendly match next month, 2 friendly matches, which will be played in Austria, and Ndidi won't be part of that party. It's a good news. It's a good thing that it's actually a friendly match, not a qualifier. If not, we'll be talking about something else. All right, so we wish Ndidi a very swift return. We just hope that this doesn't become one of those situations where you start having rebounds and more injuries and relapses and the rest, and finally becomes injury prone. No, we don't. We hope and we believe that he will come back stronger, fitter, and much more energized from the break he's going to get from this injury. All right. Also, we'll talk about Manchester United, the Red Devils. Yes, we're not talking about their jersey, their zebra stripes, and their tom-tom. That's for something fun another day. We're talking about what they've done so far this summer, their transfer-wise, those that have come in and those that still expect to come in. They've been trying to get in new players, Jadon Sancho actually has been on the lips of many Manchester United fans of the club. They've been trying to get this guy way before the summer started, right from January, and it's still funny to find that they're still trying to get him. But the issue, what we're talking about today, is not people trying to come in. We're talking about those they're trying to let go. Yes, the fringe players. Solskjaer had a press conference after their victory, their Carabao Cup victory, where he said it's not his job or his duty to make the fringe players happy. Who are these fringe players? We have Sergio Romero. He was backup for David De Gea and goal, but with Dean Henderson coming in from Sheffield United after his loan at Sheffield United, Romero drops it drops lower in the pecking order, and he might see little or no game time this season. So he's looking for a way out, and he's not really happy about that. Same with people you'd have forgotten, players you'd have forgotten. One person I'm very sure you've forgotten about is Phil Jones. Yes, he's still a Manchester United player, and he's still there, hoping and begging that, let me see a chance to play, which I doubt it will happen for him. The same with Marcus Rocco, Juan Mata. Mata actually played in the Carabao Cup match. Also, what's its name? Lingard, Perreira, and the likes. These players actually unhappy to be at the fringes of the club. But Solskjaer said, it's not my duty to make you happy. You have to work your way to the first team, and if you can't, go and find your club. Go and find a new club. I can't beg you and say, oh no, guys, sorry for not playing you. Biko, I'll play you next match. No, if you're not interested, if you can't work your way to the first team, then work your way out. Work your way out. So that's the story from Manchester United today. Alright, so now let's talk about the Carabao fixtures that took place in this week actually. Looking at the top 6 sides and how they fared in the fixture. We'll start with Manchester United. Manchester United defeated Luton Town 3-0. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer gave those Finnish players I talked about earlier, some of them, a chance to show him what they've got, and I think they gave a good account of themselves. Also, Arsenal were hosted by the Foxes, the Leicester City at the King Power Stadium, and also did well. They ran out 2-0 winners. Goals from Christian Fuchs, an own goal from Christian Fuchs, and an Indicator goal at the end of proceedings was enough to take them on to the next round. Liverpool were wow. Those were the fringe players. His reserve squad, Jurgen Klopp gave his reserve players a chance to show him what they've got, what they can offer, and it's funny, but Liverpool, whether the first team or their reserve, they're just hot. The first team is hot. The reserve players, the bench warmers are also hot like fire, and they actually defeated Lincoln City 7-2. Don't think Lincoln City were actually just rollovers. No, they actually gave a fight, but you can't fight with a Liverpool side and think you just come off victorious now. They were defeated 7-2. Goals from Shaqiri, Divock Origi, Curtis Jones, Minanimo, Marco Gusic was enough to send them on to the next round. Then Chelsea also trashed their own opponents too. They welcomed them Barnsley to their home and actually flogged them mercilessly and sent them out of their home. One of the new arrivals for Frank Lampard's side, who am I talking about? Kai Havertz, that has not really been doing well so far, actually showed people that this is what I am, this is what I've got, this is what I can do. He was able to register a hat-trick in that fixture. We also saw Thiago Silva having a chance to also show what he's got. He had a good performance toward the heart of the defense, and it was a very wonderful win for Frank Lampard's side. Even Ben Chilwell also had a cameo at the end of the proceedings, second half cameo, and also did well. He gave an assist for the last goal scored by Olivier Giroud. Then what else again? Manchester City also were victorious in the last round. They won a very very determined Bournemouth side 2-1. It was a much changed side actually for Pep Guardiola. He actually gives academy players a chance to stretch their legs, and it was one of those new academy graduates, or more or less, still an academy player that showed Guardiola that yes, I actually have what it takes to play my own role in the first team. He's a son of one of the best players, or one of the best players the Premier League has ever had. Someone that you should all know if you've been following the Premier League for the last 10, 15 years. If you know the famous thrower, if I can use that word, he's very good at giving assists from throw-ins. Yes, he played for Stoke City. Talking about Rory Delap, it was his son that actually performed superbly for Manchester City. Liam Delap, he's a striker, a 17-year-old, and he scored just after 18 minutes on his debut. It was a wonderful goal, and it's a striker that actually offers something different from Sergio Aguero and Gabriel Jesus. He's much more of a physical striker, and we are expecting good things and wonderful things from him in the coming years. So he scored the first goal. Phil Foden also registered a goal towards the end of the match. Then also Bournemouth had a chance to score one, but it wasn't enough to get the game in their own side. Tottenham didn't play. Yes, they were to be hosted by Leyton Orient, but Leyton Orient had COVID-19 issues. Some of their players came down with the virus, and to that extent, the match had to be cancelled. Then, following the rules set by the EFL, the match had to be given to Tottenham. So Tottenham are moving to the next round at the expense of Leyton Orient. And Tottenham will be facing Chelsea in the next round, which will be holding next week on Wednesday. They'll be facing Chelsea in the next round, while Arsenal will be facing Liverpool in the next round. They'll taking a trip to Anfield to face Liverpool. It's going to be a very tough week for the Gunners, if I must say, because they'll be facing Liverpool back to back at Anfield. First of all in the league on Monday, then on Thursday in the Carabao Cup. Very, very tough one for Liverpool. But let's see. Hopefully, probably Mikel Arteta has something up his sleeves that might actually shock Jurgen Klopp. Also, Manchester United will take a trip to the Amex Stadium to face Brighton. In a similar situation, just like Arsenal, they face Brighton at the Amex Stadium in the league on the weekend. Then 4 days later, face Brighton again in the Amex Stadium in the Carabao Cup. So that's another match we have to look out for. Then Manchester City will be visiting Burnley in the Carabao Cup next week too. Alright, now let's just round this up with one or two transfer stories making the headlines. Yes, we've talked earlier about Manchester United and Jadon Sancho. Now that is still going on. Manchester United have actually they're trying one more time to see if they can get that man off Borussia Dortmund, and they've actually submitted a £90 million bid, and to see how that goes, if it will be possible. Dortmund are actually they are holding out for a £108 million fee before they will allow Sancho leave their club. But Manchester United are unwilling to offer that, or to offer that bid. So their last offer is £90 million, and they want to see if that works. Probably if that doesn't, they will look out for other options. And we've heard of the other options they're actually thinking about: Ivan Perisic of Inter Milan, Douglas Costa of Juventus, another person they're looking at, Kingsley Coman of Bayern Munich, and finally another person they are also looking at is Ousmane Dembele of Barcelona. But they will only go for any of those players if Sancho doesn't come to Dortmund, if the deal doesn't go through. Now, another team who is having issues this summer is Arsenal as far as transfers are concerned. Yes, they have brought in Willian, they brought in Ceballos for a second consecutive loan, they brought in Gabriel, and it looks good, but they have issues in their midfield, and they're trying to bring in Thomas Partey from from Atletico Madrid and Hossein Aouar from Lyon. Now, both clubs are actually unwilling to sell and holding out for a fee, which Arsenal can't match at this point because of obvious COVID-19 reasons. Atletico Madrid are holding out for £45 million fee for Thomas Partey, while Olympique Lyon are looking for something ranging from 50 million euros and above before they can let their man move over to Arsenal. But now the funny thing, where the transfer has a twist as far as the Thomas Partey situation is concerned, is that Atletico Madrid actually want one of Arsenal's men. Who are we talking about? Lucas Torreira. Yes, Diego Simeone, that's Atletico Madrid's coach, wants Lucas Torreira. He actually loves what the guy can offer, what the guy has to offer, and is willing to get him. But they don't want to. They want to bring him for a permanent deal. No, they're looking to get him on loan. So that's what the issue is. Arsenal are like, all right, you want Torreira, give us Partey. We'll give you Torreira with some little money, then give us Partey. But Atletico Madrid are like, no, we are not doing that. We just want to get Torreira on loan. Partey shouldn't be part of the deal. And Arsenal are like, all right, if Partey is going to be part of the deal, then you must buy Torreira outrightly or loan him with an obligation to buy next season. And that's where the standoff is, because Atletico Madrid are unwilling to buy him at this moment. They just want to loan him and see how it goes. So we hope probably Arsenal might get a breakthrough for one of these two transfers, but that is where they are at the moment. Also, Chelsea have been superb this transfer window. They've been throwing in money here and there, Russian money, big boy spending, more or less. Yes, you brought in Kai Havertz, Ben Chilwell, Thiago Silva, Timo Werner, Hakim Ziyech, and recently they just brought in a new keeper to keep Kepa on his feet, or on his toes rather. Who are we talking about? They brought in Edouard Mendy. They brought him from Rennes to actually deputize and give Kepa a run for his money, because Kepa has really been underperforming in recent times. So let's see how that goes. Then also Liverpool, we all know Liverpool brought in Thiago Alcantara during the week, and also brought in Diogo Jota from Wolverhampton Wanderers to deputize for their strikers. You know, their main strikers at Liverpool is Sadio Mane, Mohamed Salah, and Firmino, but they really don't have much quality on the bench in case one of those players has to take a rest. So that's why Jurgen Klopp went out to get Diogo Jota from Wolverhampton Wanderers so that he can play probably the cup games and actually give Salah, Mane, and the rest a little rest during this tight competitive season, because we're going to have a whole lot of fixtures this season in a short space of time. So most of these players will need to rest, so they will need a very suitable and quality deputy to take over whenever they are on the bench or taking a rest. All right, so this is how far we can go for today's podcast. I hope you had fun. This is actually my first podcast. I really hope you had fun and enjoyed it. I would love to see your comments. Want to know what you think. Criticism, constructive criticism will be appreciated. Let me know what I can change, what I can do to make this podcast better. We'll be doing this twice every week, Fridays and Tuesdays. So Fridays will be for the stories that and what happened in the world of football during the week. Then Tuesday we'll be talking about what happened over the weekend. So my next podcast will be on Tuesday. So I hope you had a lot of fun. Please do not forget to follow my very good friends at Go Bridge TV. They are the ones who powered this and made this possible. You can follow them. You can find them on Instagram at gobridge.com. Then on Twitter at GoBridge, GoAlBreach. My name remains Malichi Gevas. You can find me on Instagram at Malichi_Gevas. That's Malichi_Gevas. And on Instagram, you can also find me at Mr. Malachi. MRMARLAHKHAI. So I hope you had a lot of fun. Let's do this again on Tuesday. from me to you, I tell you, thanks a lot and peace out. Bye.